So this is going to be a tips and tricks guide for advanced thief techniques for improving your mechanical skill on the thief class in PvP. So we'll just get right in there. Start with the first tip is de-target your skills to improve your positioning. So thief positioning is pretty important, right? But a lot of your skills can have clunky aftercasts, or they can kind of like home into your target in ways that you don't really want them to do that. So detargeting a skill allows you to aim it in the direction that you want to go that won't change. So if I target this golem, I'll Heartseeker to it, I'll Heartseeker to it, and then if I get closer, I'll Heartseeker, but then I won't go any further than it, right? But if I'm targeting the golem and I de-target, then I'll Heartseeker through it. And this is really good for doing something like black powder and then Heartseeker through, and then you can backstab it from behind, rather than if I do this and I just Heartseeker it and then I front stab it. So yeah, detargeting there is a really good way of positioning backstabs, and it's also really effective for if you're using Shortbow to detarget your Shortbow 3. So say for example I'm being chased by this golem and I want to be kiting, right? But I want to go up the staircase. So if I use Shortbow 3, I'm going to like go into the wall over here. So instead I want to be evading, like say he's shooting me with a longbow or something. I want to be evading up the staircase in a way that isn't directly away from the target, right? So what I would do is I would de-target and then about face and Shortbow 3 that direction. And that way I can get as much movement as possible while also getting the evade that I want. So that's also good. And the last skill you want to be detargeting is your sword 3 on sword dagger. So if I target something and I use sword 3, it's gonna home into it, right? But if I detarget it, it's gonna go off to the right. That's the movement of sword 3. I'll give a better example for a moving target, because that's really where you want to use it, because since sword 3 homes in on your target, it will try to make up for that distance. But if they change directions really quickly, then the game might not react fast enough. So if I know that the golem is going in this path around in a circle, so I know where he's going. And in a game you might not know exactly where someone's going, but the game will only predict where they're going based on their movement. So it's going to do that. But if I know for sure where he's going, I can de-target and then aim it myself, right? So that's also really good for when you're doing an evade and you want to get out of combat. So de-targeting here, and then I want to evade away. And note that your evade will take you off to the right. So if you de-target and then face yourself a little bit to the left, then you'll go forwards. Rather than if you face forwards, you'll go a little bit to the right. So it depends on where you want to go. If you want to go to the left, you don't really have much choice. You'd have to face way far to the left if you want to go left. And if you just want to go straight, face a little bit to the left. And then it'll take you where you want to go. So yeah, that's detargeting. The next tip is to stow abilities. So here I will be using dagger pistol, and one important ability to stow, you can't stow Heartseeker because it's a leap ability, but you can stow Shadow Shot, and that just means you bind your stow weapon key and then you use that right as because it's a two-part skill. There's the blind and then there's the dagger attack. So if you just blind, you'll do an unblockable blind attack, and then you stow and then you don't do the dagger attack. Now, why would you not want to do the dagger attack? It's free damage. Well, there is an aftercast to it. So if you want to hit someone with a better timed attack, say for example I go in stealth and I want to backstab someone, I can't do it from the front, right? I want to do it from the back. So what I want to do is I want to shadow shot, stow, and then backstab from behind, and that'll give me more damage than if I had just shadow shot from the front. Now obviously that has a huge tell to it, because if someone sees you shadow shot, then they're gonna probably dodge the backstab, but that's still useful in some situations. Now if I'm on sword dagger, for example, and I want to, let's say, sword 2 to someone, but I don't want to hit them with the infiltrator's strike, because say maybe it's a warrior and they have full counter up, but I want to port to them, say like I want to hit them right as soon as the full counter ends, but I don't want to hit them. Well, Stowing Weapon actually doesn't work on sword 2 for whatever reason, but you can stow a sword 2 by using cloak and dagger. Now I don't know why this is, but this is it, and you can just press 2 and then spam 5, and after you spam 5 you'll wanna, yeah, it's gonna see how it precasts the dagger 5. You can stow the dagger 5 on the other hand, right? So you would sword 2 dagger 5 and then stow the dagger 5, and then that way you won't do anything. And this is also good for, say, if you want to peel out of a fight, and say like you're fighting someone here and then there's another person over here that you want to sword 2 and then juke them. Well, you can do dagger 5, dagger 2, dagger 5, stow, and that way you'll stay in stealth and you can keep moving. And obviously if you don't have enough initiative to use cloak and dagger, you won't be able to do it. So see, like I do it and then 2, it still hits because I don't have enough initiative for cloak and dagger. So you want to make sure you have enough initiative to do that. So yeah, that's stowing. And the last tip is knowing how to use your shortbow skills independent from your character. So what this means is I can do something like that and it moves in its own direction after it's left my character. So I can go in many directions while my shortbow skills are being cast because they're a projectile. And this is useful in a number of situations. So for example, at the start of a match, you're going to want to give your team stealth to go into mid. So you're going to do black powder and then cluster bomb to give stealth. But you can only give 3 cluster bombs because your animation capped in the 4 seconds that your black powder, its duration is 4 seconds. So what you can do is you can precast a cluster bomb and then black powder and then give 3 more black. I missed it there, but I'm playing Core Thief. Normally I'd be Daredevil. So if you're DP, you're probably using dash. So you can do that, and then you get 4 cluster bombs instead. So that's really nice because even though you use up 3 more initiative, you're basically at full initiative anyways because you're coming out of the starter zone. So you should have full initiative when we're at the beginning of a match. So that allows you to take advantage of that without having to do 2 black powders. So it's higher burst stealth. And why this is good for infiltrator arrow as well is because you can juke enemies by casting infiltrator arrow in a different direction than the way that you're going. So say if you have a bunch of people chasing you, you're going to want to get them off of you. So you're going to want to move erratically. If you move in the same direction, it's easy for them to predict your movement. So you're going to be an easy target. So what you're going to want to do is while they're chasing you, you're going to want to move left and then zigzag, but your infiltrator's arrow can keep going in the direction that you want to go while you're zigzagging. So say I'm being chased down these stairs and I want to get to this bridge because that's the objective, or where my team is. So what I would do is I would, as soon as I'm in a portable spot, so like for example, if I do this and then I go to a no port spot, I'll be dead, right? So don't go into a no port spot, but you can change the direction that you're heading, and it won't change the distance that you get ported to. So if I do this and then juke to the left a little bit beforehand, I will still go to where my infiltrator's arrow wants me to go. I'll just create more distance between, say, here and there, and here and there. So it's basically a momentum shift for the enemy, because they have to keep chasing me to the left, and then they have to go in the direction that my arrow went. So it's a really good way of getting enemies off of you, because they have to change momentum so quickly to stay on you. And that's about it. So my next video is going to be on a little bit of a more abstract topic. It's going to be on how and when to steal. So make sure you're subscribed to get that next, and I'll see you then.